Hi, Prash.
Thank
How are
you
you?
very much for joining me and sharing your experience working with LilacBuds for your MBA applications. Let's get started by you doing just a quick short introduction about your academic and professional background so that people who see this video can definitely understand that who you were and what your thoughts were before the MBA application started.
Sure, glad to, Prash. And so I have completed my master's in industrial engineering. So that's the highest academic qualification that I possess. And I have completed it from the Northeastern University in Boston. And after graduating from Northeastern University, I have started working as a supply chain analyst with Harman in Los Angeles. And it was a great opportunity after grad school, considering my interest within the industrial engineering field was catered towards supply chain analytics and planning. So this opportunity helped me explore that subject much more. And yeah, have uh, really enjoyed my time at Harman. I have worked there for 2.5 years and learned a lot in the process, got promoted. And yeah, un- but unfortunately, I did not get the US H-1B visa. So, and at the same time, had some family commitments back in India. So I moved back to India, and after taking care of certain things, I started my job search again, got into NTT Data. And at NTT Data, I was previously working in the industry at Harman, consumer electronics. Now I wanted to explore the consulting field where I would be focusing on supply chain planning and analytics problems, but
Mhm.
it would be a broader domain. I could
Right.
explore different industries, and that is what interested me towards this opportunity. And yeah, I've started out with NTT Data, and this time it was demand planning transformations for clients. And
Yeah.
since then, I have been working on digital transformation solutions for many. I have worked with agribusiness client, adhesives client, medical devices, lithium-ion batteries, and currently a tobacco industry client. So I think the motto with which I chose consulting was uh, accomplished in my view. So, and yeah, at the moment I'm working as a O9. I'm working at O9 as associate solution architect, and yeah. With respect to my MBA process, I have started my MBA program selection a while ago, like around 2 years back. I've started looking at rankings, going through the employment reports and visiting the websites, understanding what are the strengths of a particular program.
Mhm.
And uh, firstly, I wanted to choose a European
Yeah,
MBA,
so before
and
we before we come to that, again, I'll hold you there just 1 minute, right? Because I wanted to understand that you told us why you moved back to India. You should tell us a little bit about, you grew really quickly through the ranks at Harman. You're doing really well. Still, the H-1B didn't come in your favor. Of course, a little bit of a letdown. You said you had family things going on. Great, came back, you're still continuing to grow with NTT and O9. Why did you decide that you wanted to do an MBA in the first place? And then why do you think a consultant came into your mind, like working with a consultant like LilacBuds came in your mind?
yeah. So with respect to if we look at the transition from the industry to consulting, it was on a similar motive, Prash, uh, getting to explore different industries. With MBA, what I was clear from the beginning, even when I was doing my master's in industrial engineering. Okay, this is where I'm building my operational base and supply chain analytic base, and this will help me transition into a broader business oriented role. So that was the planning from the beginning. And yeah, since I have built my experience on in the operations management and supply chain management domain, I wanted to have a broader knowledge and work on uh, a more variety of problems. And I felt that taking up MBA was uh, would help me in that direction. So that was the reason for choosing MBA. Get a broader exposure to finance, marketing, not just operations, but
Correct.
organization as a whole.
Good. So that's good. So you knew that you wanted to go broader in terms of the work body that you are able to responsibly manage in your next enterprise. Why did you pick a consultant?
So, as you know, Prash, the MBA programs, it's not like in India where we have one standardized exam, and you can. The application process is much more simpler, to be
Correct.
honest, when it comes to India. But when we are applying to European programs, each school looks for different things, and also we have to approach the application in a strategic way. In order, although it might your profile might fit, if your story and recommendations are not right,
Yeah.
then you lose a shot at your school. So I did not want to take those chances. I
Correct.
have done my part, and just because of certain presentation aspect, I do not want to lose out on any of the potential chances, and hence I chose LilacBuds.
Okay, cool. So thank you for that candidness because I think for most people, they are like you are a very driven professional, a very, somebody who's already lived abroad. So you had quite a few things working, but you're right. Like what most people lack today is that ability to have a second opinion sometimes, right? Like you might be confident about your own application, but just because I didn't dot the I or cross the T, I don't want to take that chance and maybe opportunity at a good admit might disappear if I don't have the help or the support. And sometimes most people don't have internal home based help or support at all, or somebody who's more dedicated to the craft as well, right? Like because I think what we do here at Lilac Buds is beyond just we are just a team of people whose only job is to help students get admits to elite schools around the world. So keeping that in context, our focus has always been like how do we make that presentation that you just said in a way that it will really elevate the outcome for the student as well. So, moving on to the next question, which you were talking about earlier, is why did you decide to do Europe this time? Why did you choose to go to Europe? And you can share which schools you applied to as well and where you, of course, are going to go now.
Sure, Pash. So I've chosen. I mean, even within Europe, I was. So Europe I've chosen because I did not want to deal with the US visa processes. Once again, I do not want to base my career on a coin toss. Probably, I think coin toss is much more fairer than a US H-1B visa. Uh, and yeah, so I wanted to try out a different country. Okay, and the other options that seemed suitable for me were UK and UK primarily because it's a English speaking country,
Mhm,
and it has a broader organizational base as well, right?
mhm.
And but I want I wanted to try something slightly more challenging, to be honest. And okay, I have studied in English. Okay, I went to English speaking country. I've worked there. Okay, that is all sorted. Okay, why not try a different language? Uh,
Okay.
why not? I mean, uh, even when you expect, as a kid, when I expected somebody who has done an MBA, I used to imagine, okay, he might speak a few different languages. For some
Mhm.
reason, I just had that perception, and
Okay.
yeah, that so as a hobby, I started out learning German. Yeah,
Okay.
and then try, I've tried to identify, okay, what are the business schools that I can get into? Building upon this leverage that I'm trying to gain, right, over
Okay.
other applicants. So let's say there are 100 applicants
Mhm.
applying for business schools. Okay, how many people are willing to learn German and put in certain effort? That percentage shrinks quite a lot. You're competing against probably 10 or 20 folks, right?
Okay.
So as
Yeah.
an Indian, I think you have to eliminate or leverage your strengths in order to compete, right? So it
Mhm.
was basically that strategy that I've used.
Mhm.
And of course, this doesn't take away from the fact that GMAT is very important, and your professional experience is very important, and so on. And
Okay.
this is just a cherry on top, yeah. So yeah, I was focusing on UK and German business schools, and I have applied to Oxford, and I have applied to Mannheim. So these are
Okay.
the two schools I have applied to. And Oxford, unfortunately, I did not get in, and no regrets. I took my shot, and yeah, it was good. It was a good learning experience. And after that, I applied to Mannheim, and yeah, Mannheim. There were a couple of interviews. First was a more behavioral and getting to know you kind of an interview. And the second was based on a case study that Mannheim has provided 1 week in advance to prepare on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a very, I enjoyed the process of interviewing with Mannheim and getting to know them. And yeah, eventually I
Very, very unique,
converted
right? Like
Mannheim.
the, I think the whole German application process is actually very interesting because they are one of the very few regions where case studies are still very prominent, right? Unlike
Mhm.
the US doesn't do, probably very few schools, if any, do a case study anymore. Uh, German and Swiss schools still prefer to do case studies today as well. That's one of the key differentiating factors in the whole application there. A lot of the European schools have long applications. Think HEC, INSEAD. Even Oxford has a ton of questions about your readiness for the program before, like, what kind of research you've done and things like that. While Mannheim's application might be smaller, the interview and the case study is a little bit more longer and, you need more preparation for. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely, Bash. Actually, I was kind of surprised with Mannheim's application, considering after Oxford, it had seven, eight C questions, and so on. And also, I mean, I was looking at some of the other applications. I haven't applied though for HEC Paris, where there were even more questions. So
Correct.
Mannheim was really good with respect to that aspect. But it is also challenging at the same time, Prash. Like
Correct.
you have to condense all of your story into probably one or two essays, and doing that efficiently and sticking to the points that they want us to address is also a challenge. But yeah, it is. I prefer Mannheim's method of application rather than
Than
another
the other.
school which has a lot of, yeah.
Fair,
And
fair, fair.
with respect to the interview and the case study method, that um, I think uh, it keeps your interest as well. Like for example, if you're the case study that I've received at Mannheim was related to Birkenstock,
Hmm.
how it has transitioned. So it was
Yeah.
a good reading material, and you genuinely enjoy reading about it and having a discussion with folks rather than you being in your kind of stressful state. Okay, how is this interview gonna go like, and what are
Correct.
the uh, other ra-
No,
uh,
but
some
the
of the
beauty
life
of these
experience that we.
interviews, the beauty of these interviews is that you got to think a lot yourself. You got to start putting yourself in that real consultant kind of role as well. Yeah, not
Mhm.
just the data analytics side of things, but also the trade-offs and the evaluations that you need to make and present. Now, talk a little bit about your experience working with Tanya, on the LilacBuds side for using her as a as a mentor, as a supporter for your applications. What was her role like in working with you, right? What kind of inputs did she provide, or where do you think you drew the most value from her conversations?
Yeah, sure, Prash. I really appreciate Tanya's and your help, Prash. And uh, with respect to the applications, timelines, working um, working full time and trying to manage these applications can sometimes be tricky. And during the time of applications, I was also traveling quite a lot for work. So keeping check on the timelines was Tanya helped me put certain milestones to be accomplished, and with respect to the timelines that helped, and also with respect to the content of the essays. You
Mhm.
and Tanya have reviewed the first drafts, second drafts, and so on, provided where it needed more structure, or probably some places where I was slightly vague, considering that I myself know what I'm referring to, but it might not be very clear to the other person. Uh, right? So you help bring in that perspective. What is the other person going to understand from your essay? So that perspective was really important, and basically structuring the essay, Tanya helped a lot. And also with respect to the schools, the uh, you helped identify the schools where I was a strong content.
Correct.
Although, so those are some of the things that you and Tanya and have helped with, and really grateful for that,
No,
Prash.
thank you for that. And I think as long as Tanya's content and her advice worked for you, that's what we really want, anyways, for all our applicants. Very important to kind of think, because she also came. She's also herself an INSEAD admitted student, as you know. So for her to already put that MBA hat on, to start thinking and supporting you from that perspective was very crucial for us, coming also with the right kind of experience from a professional background perspective, those valuable inputs, right? It's when we support each other in a what we call in an unbiased way, in a more authentic way, right? Not like, oh, we are here for two conversations. That is when it changes the game, right? Some of the conversations our mentors and students have, they're so enriching both for both parties. Even the mentors sometimes learn a lot from, like, if I would speak to you about Harman and the kind of company it is and the kind of challenges they have, I'm pretty sure I would learn something new, which that same knowledge is transferable to another similar industry, may not be in the audio space, but maybe something else. And very similar international shipment challenges or procurement challenges, or marketing branding challenges that are there in a competitive market, finding the right target segment, niche. So we all need to kind of make sure that we are able to draw on each other's strengths. And this is exactly why an MBA program is kind of the right place to do that, because there you'll see all these people coming into your classroom, right? Somebody from finance, you said you want to learn all these different areas. This is the whole reason why an MBA program is crucial, is that you can learn from all these different places in just one classroom. Somebody who comes from a finance background, tech background, supply chain background like you, or marketing sales background, or any other niche one, even like we see lawyers and doctors and even veterans from the army join the program. You get to learn from such diverse experiences, and that is what I think the real value of an MBA is for most applicants. Now, taking this again, next step, next question for me would be, why Mannheim? I know you spoke about German and learning German and everything else. And what are you most excited about Mannheim? Why did you decide to finally join Mannheim?
So, uh, yeah, with when I was looking, so whenever a prospective MBA applicant tries to narrow down their programs, Prash, first thing that they go and look at other rankings, right? So that is first thing that we do. And based on that, I have filtered out, okay, these are the programs within Europe that I can focus on. Yeah. Out of that, Mannheim was there on that list. And then I have looked through the employment reports and the program feedback of those program of the selected programs, right? Out of that, I one of the key um, advantages that I saw with respect to Mannheim was the ROI. Considering that I've already done my master's in industrial engineering, I kind of wanted to, okay, maybe not spend a lot of money on my MBA degree, and but I wasn't going to compromise on the career outcomes. If you look at Mannheim, it has that sweet spot of, okay, uh, if you get in, you are probably going to pay lesser than some of the other programs in the similar range, or probably low cost MBAs in the top 100, actually. I'm not sure, but it is one of them. Uh, and With respect to career outcomes, it was on par with Oxford and Cambridge career outcomes. In fact, the placement rate was better than Oxford and Cambridge. So that uh, kind of narrowed my decisions further. And once I converted Mannheim, I wasn't going, I mean, I was not going to apply for any other schools. It was, yeah, okay. Okay, I'm done with the application process and I'm good with
No,
my selection. Yeah.
no, and
Yeah.
once if you're happy with the selection, that's most important, right,
Yeah.
Sri? For us, it is, when a client is happy, it doesn't matter whether you are in the rank 15 school or the 25th school. You really need to be in a place where you feel I'm excited to go to where I'm going and I'm going to learn
Yeah.
something exciting here as well. And I think my career will get the jump or the elevation that I'm looking for as well. And that's pretty much all it takes. And Germany is a growing, well-developed nation with, growing international students looking at it. So I'm pretty sure you will like it's becoming like what US was 2 decades ago in that sense. So I see a lot more potential in Germany growing over time, right? So I'm very confident you made the
Yeah.
right choice. I think it's definitely no ways
Thank
in
you.
my mind like a tier two university, if at all that's anybody thinks about it.
Yeah.
Mannheim,
Yeah.
Frankfurt, WHU, Otto, these are some of the top names in the country, and we always have applicants working towards these universities. So thank you very much. Last question from me before I let you go is if there's one tip or one advice that you would like to leave for somebody who's starting their applications to an MBA program in Germany in terms of the process, in terms of support they should take or seek, anything that you have in top of your mind, what do you think would be your top advice or two for them?
Yeah. Um, I think the most important thing is building a identifying your goals and building a whole strategic profile around it. Prash, it is, yeah, GMAT can be accomplished with certain amount of practice, like 4 months, 5 months in, you can get the score that you need. And with respect to IELTS, it is comparatively easier exam to crack, and it shouldn't be a problem for most of the students. So that's fine. But with respect to your professional experience, the industries that you have worked on, what MBA programs tie into your strengths and where you can uh, grow better is basically the question that you are trying to answer. So getting that story intact and being sure about what you want to, I mean, maybe not sure, but maybe having 1 to 2 career paths after MBA finalized will help you identify your schools
and also understand what level of preparation is needed for GMAT or any other activities that are needed for that application process. Yeah. Um, and with respect to the application, after you get a interview invite, I think it is. Uh, we are all going to be on certain amount of nerves when we are going for the interview, especially when you have worked for about 1.5 year. So nerves are natural, that's fine. And I'm pretty sure that most of the MBA admissions committees are aware of this, and try to do your best, give it your best shot, and yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Sri. Lovely chatting with you on, your experience working with us. And once again, of course, thank you for placing your trust with us and wishing you the best as you start off on a new campus very soon in a few months from now.
Sure. Thank you, Brash. Really appreciate all the help. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.